WUWAH. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. This is a gentle, encouraging morning podcast for you to listen to whilst you wake up. My name is David, although I can't say my surname or the name of the show within the first minute because the algorithm doesn't like swearing early on. It's fine with swearing later on, and also my surname isn't a swear word, but that's by the by. I'm just going to use this time to gently encourage you whilst I wait to say my own name. I hope you've gotten out of bed. I hope you've done that nicely. I hope you've drunk some water nicely. I hope you've had some breakfast orally. And I hope you've stretched muscly. This is a show where I interview comedians and other creative people about their morning routines because we tend to do our work at night, and therefore I want to know if they are all coping with the morning as badly as I am and how they're going about that. I also ask them about their expertise. Today my guest is the wonderful Toby Hadoke. He is the resident MC at Malarkey in Manchester. He's a stand-up comedian and he's an expert in Doctor Who. My name is David Hoare, and this is Waking Up With A Hoare.
Waking up with a Hoare. Waking up with a Hoare. Waking up with a Hoare.
That's fantastic. Thank you. I like the Bernard's come over to see.
Bernard, are you checking out how we're doing?
Bernard's doing so well. Hello, Bernard. I'm sad I can't get Bernard. I'll get a photo of Bernard later to show all my valued listeners and watchers. Oh, no, now I'm just going to get distracted by a dog. I'm the first comedian with ADHD. So that's
Bernard,
nice.
Want to go to bed?
Go to bed.
Go to bed, pal. Go to bed.
Oh.
Good boy. Good boy. Go to
This
bed,
might be
Bernard.
a weird sentence to say, but your dog has an excellent dog smell.
Oh,
My dog has a very particular dog smell, but your dog is not too dissimilar.
Bernard.
Bernard's fine there unless you.
No, he should do as he's told because he's a service dog. So
I see.
good boy.
That's fair. So the way this works is
Good
it's
boy.
like a the way this works is like a gentle. I should turn to you, shouldn't I? Rather than I like to say I've got one fern, what's
Like
his name, Galifianakis. The way this works is supposed to be like a gentle morning podcast for people to listen to, like as they wake up.
Right.
I say this to people sometimes just in case some people are more foul than other people when I speak to them. I don't particularly think you're
I'm not
especially
foul.
a foul person. Are you a morning person?
No, not especially. Well, we will discuss this.
Well, I was like, I think we're recording now, so go.
Oh, really?
This is it.
Is this it?
I'm just going to be as natural as possible.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh, so there's no beginning or introduction or anything.
I was advised my introduction should be telling you that this is a morning show, so just don't be too filthy.
Well, you did. And you did it so naturalistically. I thought it was a conversation rather than an artificial construct in order to be entertaining.
Oh no!
My good lord!
Are we getting back to the roots of podcasting by just being natural?
I think it's in culinary terms, this would be a deconstructed podcast. Where it has all the ingredients of a podcast, but they haven't been put together properly.
What a review! Thank you. Can I put that on all my marketing?
Absolutely.
All the ingredients of the podcast not been put together properly.
Yeah.
4
So
stars.
it's like an apple crumble where you've got the crumble on one side of the plate, the apple on the other, and some whipped cream in the middle.
Are you a morning person?
I'm not. I'm not.
Fantastic.
But
Woo.
I don't want to be one of those, because on the occasions where I have been disciplined enough to get up in the mornings, I've enjoyed them and made good use of them. But I find, and I've always found, I do much better after midnight. So what I tend to do is lengthen my day. And when I was younger, I could sort of get up and run a mile metaphorically.
One of those
but
metaphoric
now
miles.
as I'm getting older, I have to, I'm trying to do that thing of not being too apologetic for sleeping in, because I do tend to work and I make podcasts or I write or whatever, beyond midnight into at least. I'm rarely in bed before 2 a.m.
I'm a big fan of learning how you actually work and working with yourself rather than conforming to everything else. Like, as I said before, with my ADHD, it's like I was trying to be not a salmon going upstream, but like another fish trying to go upstream. It's like, oh, I should actually just be going the way that that's so much better going this
with
way.
the flow,
With my own flow. And I think like I actually have a good burst of energy around 6, 7, 8 p.m, which is good for being a comedian.
I think there's a danger there of going, I just need to find my own rhythm, where my natural indolence would just mean I would never do anything. So what I tend to, and I think because I'm a procrastinator, I don't know if you're going to let them peek behind the curtain, but we should have started recording this half an hour ago.
There's an actual curtain for you to peek behind.
It's a metaphor. Again, like the apple crumble, and like something else I was doing in this conversation only 5 minutes ago. So the run. I exist entirely in a world of metaphors.
That's fun. That's good.
And what was I talking about? So I think there's a danger of because I was late for this. I tend to, even if I have time, and even if I've made time, I tend to then waste that time. I seem to have to only do everything at the last minute.
Sure.
Which means I'm in a constant state of flux and unhappiness and stress.
Oh no, don't be unhappy.
But then I think I'm not bad. When backed into a corner and getting stuff done.
Sure.
But I wish I was better at not needing to be in a corner.
Right. You need the impetus, right?
But if you gave me a deadline to do something of 10 years and it was a job that only took a week, I've got 10 years to do a week's worth of work. In 9 years, 11 months and 3 weeks time, the night before I would go, I should really start thinking about doing this thing.
Start thinking about it. Yeah, that's fair. Like I've just finished making an album, which I gave myself until when I left to go on holiday to finish. And that meant that the night before we went on holiday, I was up until 1 a.m. being like, oh, I finally done it. But it's like, I think, what is it? It's somebody's law that something takes the time it's filled up to do. I've explained that really well. Parkinson's law, I think it is.
Right.
Which is when you interview someone and go, yes. But like, it takes that allotted time to fill up. But I think for you and myself, it's like,
well, and also, actually, I did today, because I'm going on holiday. Well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I have an awful day where I've got to get up at 6 a.m, go to Cheltenham, do a job, go to London, come back. And then the next day we're going on holiday. So I need to get all my more sort of podcast things ready to go automatically. So I had one that I was doing and I thought, I can actually edit this on the train. So I'll record the other. So I've put that off. So I'm doing that on the train tomorrow. And then the other one was like, but if I just record this, I can edit that on the train, but that will only take 2 minutes and that can go out as well. So if I record this one, and I was recording it and I thought, I'll just have a break in the middle. I never have a break in the middle. No. And then I had a little snooze, I had a tea cake, which made me need a snooze because it's got sugar in it. And because I'd woken up a bit earlier this morning than I'd intended to. Anyway, and the reason I'm late is because I saved it and it was like, I've actually done it. I can do it. I could save it. I'm going to be 5 minutes late, but it's all done. And then Audacity went, I'm going to do that circly thing that's going to go quite ready. And blah, blah, blah. But it's all right because I force quit, but then I called it up. And the second half of it, which was the bit I hadn't saved, was there. So I exported that and saved that. And then I think now I could just close it down and then open it up. And the file that I saved, which is the first half, will be there. And it was there, but there were no waveforms whatsoever. So the first half of that podcast has not been saved, which is why I then tried to find it somewhere.
Oh my goodness!
So I don't do myself any favors, and it means I feel I'm a man who is in a state of harassment quite often.
But you're harassing yourself.
Yeah, and I don't enjoy that.
I was going to say what I've tried to do, and therapy helps, is not berate myself so much for that. Because I still do that. And it's like, if you can remove...
Can I berate Audacity?
Yeah, you can berate Audacity. Because that's fine. And I think like that's perfectly fine that you're doing that. But like, I think I add... there's a lot of time to do it, but some of that lot of time is taken up by the fact that I'm berating myself for not having done it sooner.
I also have to sort of take a run up to things as well, course. And go, I could send that email, but instead what I could do is I could open Yahoo and then look at some other emails. And then delete some emails, and then perhaps check some websites, my fantasy cricket, all the time going, the reason I'm here is to reply to that email or send that email. Yeah. And sometimes I will, or sometimes I might reply to another email and go, that's a day's work, which sometimes...
Which it is. Sometimes it's like all that mental capacity. I also, because my brain latched onto it too much, I understand fantasy cricket to be a bit like fantasy football where you have your team, but I'm imagining it with like dragons and
it's not you. Yes, you've got the man holding a knight with a bat at one end.
Aslan as a wicketkeeper.
No, it's very straightforward.
Nice.
It's the fantasy of people who like cricket, so it's not going to. It's not going to be It's not going to have too many centaurs in it.
It's not going to have too imaginative. Are you good at getting out of bed?
Terrible.
Oh, okay.
And indeed, what I've been prone to doing recently is sort of waking up a little too early, and then having an hour where I do stupid things on my phone, and then just about getting to a lovely, lovely sleep when it's time to get up. And then either then having to get up and be a bit tired and needing a snooze in the afternoon, or then sleeping in for 2 hours and starting the day behind. So, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm self-employed and I do most of my work from home now. I don't travel around gigging as much as I used to because I do podcasts and I'm writing books and things like that.
You've set your life up in a way that you can exist how you actually naturally are rather than...
Yeah, I mean, and when I was travelling around, and I used to, be a very, very busy on the road comic, I managed to get from place to place, and I never missed a gig. And but I was also in that state of you know what it's like. If you book a train in advance, it's a lot cheaper than if you don't. But that means you have to get that specific train. Yes.
I think that's it. It's like if I have operated at punctuality and getting places in the right time, I won't have existed well. I wrote a joke the other day that I don't know whether it would work on stage, but it's like, I could organise a piss up in a brewery, but it would involve missing most meals.
No, very nice. What I have to do is kid myself, and actually, if I'm travelling on a train with somebody else, my ex-wife and my current partner, it took them a while to latch on, and they both went, you actually tell me that we're getting the train earlier than the one you've booked for, aren't you? And I'm like, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because then if I miss the train I'm aiming for, it's all right because I'll catch the one I've actually booked the ticket for. So, and Manchester to London, they're every 20 minutes. So if I'm on the 11:20, I will leave the house in my own head that I'm catching the 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because then even if I miss it, well, I'm fine. And if
this is far too relatable, Tampa.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend and I, when we were leaving to go on holiday the other day, we literally out loud went, so we're going to leave at 1, which means we'll leave at 2. Great. We're going to leave at 1.
Oh.
And then after that, we never said the word 2, we just said the word 1. And then when we left at 2:15, we were only 15 minutes.
Yes, well, if we're driving, and when we go on holiday later this week, my partner will be, I don't drive, you see, my other half will be driving, and we will invariably leave at least an hour after we need to, or after we've said we will. But that doesn't matter because we're only going on holiday.
Yeah,
whereas if it was a job, it would be very different. And I don't get particularly stressed by that because we've got nothing to do at the other end. But if it was a job...
Does your partner get stressed by it?
No, because it's often her fault. I mean, she's worse than me.
This is fast becoming a podcast where I identify really hard with my guest and then we kind of go, how does your partner feel like that? And you're just like, oh no, my partner is taking the brunt of a lot of this. It's fine, please come in. That's good.
Oh, and here are the drinks tokens for the gig later. Thank
Hooray!
you, Kelsey, for the gig later.
We're doing a gig later.
She's expecting a lot of drinks.
Oh!
I pay for these, by the way. But,
okay. Well, thank you very much for my alcoholic problem.
Thanks for the half a pint of tokens.
Yeah. That's just one drink. Everybody's getting half a pint of token. I should say, we're here at 53.2 doing Access Malarkey this evening with a stunning lineup.
Which is a stunning lineup, yes.
Very, very happy.
Me and you, for starters, and James Acaster.
Oh.
Which is very lovely.
That's very, very exciting.
It's a lovely club.
It's very, very good. Do you have an alarm system?
Well, yes, I do, and I will always set the alarm for for a bit much earlier than I need to, and put it on snooze and do all of that. But I have to say, my internal alarm is not bad. So even on the occasion where I've set the alarm and it doesn't work, or I've forgotten to switch it off silent or whatever, I'm very now. I no longer drink because.
Right.
I have.
So all of those are for me.
Yeah, I have occasionally overslept because if an alarm hasn't gone off and I've been and I was drunk the night before.
Sure.
But now that I don't have any of that in my system, if I've got particularly if I've got an acting job or something and I have to be up and I have to be out, my internal system will wake me up without an alarm anyway.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's good.
Generally,
I really used to believe in trying to set my alarm for like days I was working, and then on the day off allow myself to sleep more, and that really, unless I really need to catch up on sleep, is a detriment, and I should always just wake up at 10 basically, because then my body isn't trying to figure out what the bloody hell's going on, and that's only been in the past like 6 months maybe.
Well, again, I'm quite sort of lucky now that I'm a bit older and I'm doing much more work from home. Is that because now if I have a piece of bread, I need a snooze. So I do occasionally have a snooze in the afternoon, and I'm all right at sleeping on public transport. So I've got a train. I'm getting a train at 6 a.m. Tomorrow, but I will assume I will actually then be able to fall asleep a little bit.
I like the idea that there's like people out there having NyQuil and like all these kind of pills to try and help them get to sleep, and then you're just like having a bit of Hovis and being like,
yeah, and you wait till you get to 50. Honestly,
oh, I'm excited. That's great. So, what do you like to have for breakfast? Can you have bread, or do you just fall back asleep again?
Well, no. I mean, I tend not to have. We tend not to have bread in the house these days. Again, these are the trials and tribulations of hitting 50. And also, my partner's a biological disaster. So there's various things that she can't eat at the best of times.
My girlfriend's a microbiologist, so I was expecting some kind of scientist at the end of biological.
No,
not disaster.
No, she can't have a lot of things.
Fair.
And I'm not. I don't need gluten free, but if I have gluten, I kind of balloon a little bit.
Sure.
And I think I get a little bit sluggish. Sugar particularly seems to, and it's because I have a terrible sweet tooth. Especially, they don't tell you this when you give up drinking. Mm-hmm. All that sugar that you were having in liquid, form of liquid joy, you suddenly need to get from elsewhere. Yeah. So shares in Haribo go up, and and I still have, and I never used to have a particularly sweet tooth, but I really do now, and that then gives me problems for sort of getting quite sluggish and falling asleep. But what was the question? So do I have breakfast?
So far I've asked you, are you a morning person? And you're like, I can exist after midnight. Do you have an alarm system? My body is fine. What do you have for breakfast? Well, I don't have bread, and I do eat Haribo. What do you have for breakfast?
We try to be healthy. So it tends to be, well, in the winter, I'll do porridge with lots of bits of fruits and some toasted nuts on top. Summer fruit with a bit of granola or something sprinkled on. But recently we've got that stuff called cereal, which is a protein, which is really sweet and artificial, but you have 35 grams of it, and it's your protein, and it's a short way of getting the requisite things in. But I think we probably eat more of it than you're supposed to. But we try and have a healthy breakfast. I certainly don't have a cooked breakfast anymore, except for maybe on a Saturday or Sunday.
Sure.
And sometimes we have breakfast, because I get up so late, have breakfast for lunch.
Nice.
And then have supper, and then it's only 2 meals instead of 3, because unfortunately my expanding waistline mocks me. It doesn't mock me. It tells me I'm worthless. It doesn't mock me. It
tells you you're worthless.
Yeah, it's mean to me. It's mean to me and horrible.
You're not
me.
Worthless.
No, but
You're wonderful.
I'm not happy about my expanding waistline, but I do like eating food.
We're not here to judge. This podcast is basically for. I'm here to try and bring down the moral superiority of morning people, because they're being like, I wake up and I do everything, and why can't you do that? So this is more like empathy for people who are like struggling to get out of bed. So this is actually very
Yes, because
useful.
my Instagram is full of either silver foxes who have got six packs because of what they do on their chair.
Yeah.
Or I hate those buggers. And there is a lot of kind of aspirational, and I'm not a couch, and I go through phases of running, and I try and put sort of a 10K, sponsored 10K in the diary in order that I've got something to work towards. But I've never had a system. Those people who go, I do this and I do that at this time, and I can do that for about 3 weeks, and then I get out of that habit.
A thing I heard this year, which really helped my brain, was because I was like struggling with exercise. It's like, stop trying to live the first day of the rest of your life and be like, from now on, I will be perfect. And instead of doing that, you just kind of like, you did well, so that's good. The next day, you might have done so well. The day after that, you'll be fine. It's like, rather than like, if I don't get it perfect, then I have to start again, sort of thing.
And it's odd because I'm a geek. I think my expectation, and probably other people's image of me, would be, because I like to have my Doctor Who DVDs in order of broadcast. Well, I say that, but actually, if I get one out and watch it, and then I need to put it away, I either won't put it away. In fact, I sorted out my DVDs the other day, and it was like a mystery trail, because I'd open LA Confidential, and inside there was Blake 7. So I put Blake 7 in the Blake 7 thing, and inside Blake 7 was Bad Day at Black Rock, and I put but it was very satisfying when I got it all done. But so I think of myself as being sort of quite geeky and finicky, but I leave cupboard doors open. You know, I don't pick things up. I'm a disgrace.
When you were going through your DVDs, did you find my copy of Police Squad?
I didn't.
Because
afraid.
when I moved house, I opened up my DVD case of Police Squad, and it was just empty. Which is devastating.
Yeah,
because I think I got it for like a $5 somewhere, and it was an absolute steal.
I've got a couple of things I think I've lent to somebody.
Yeah, I've also only got the bonus DVD of the Day to Day, not the actual DVD.
Yeah, when it's something that goes with something else as well, that's a real rotter.
Absolutely.
It's like, do I have to buy the whole thing again?
So do you have any? What do you drink with your breakfast if you're having?
I tend to be a tea drinker,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing sort of green tea at the moment,
nice.
or I have Earl Grey with. I don't have milk. There's a long, boring story behind that I won't bore you with. But I've started recently to have coffee with mushrooms in it, because you can buy these mushrooms that do things to your brain, apparently, which won't do anything to stave off
you
the
take
inevitable.
hallucinogenics in the morning.
If my partner, because she's physically disabled, and she's but also falls hook, line, and sinker for any of these things that go. If you put matched clouds in your Uber Galuba, and so we're always getting stuff like that. So at the moment we have,
and for you that sounds like a Doctor Who villain,
absolutely
from the 60s.
the
You're like,
so we do if she's on the case, we have black coffee with this mushroom decaf, but with this mushroom stuff in. But it's the first time I've drunk coffee in a long time, because I drank a lot of black coffee when I was doing my dissertation at university, and drank black coffee and ate Pro Plus at the same time, because I thought that would keep me awake all night.
Yes.
And it means that now my stomach, every time it touches coffee, goes, I have memories of this and it wasn't fun. So
what, like when an alcoholic just has their first drink and just blacks out? Have you heard of that phenomenon where it's like, even if they're not drunk, they just have the first drink, then the brain knows it's going to go black out, so they just black out early, and your stomach is basically like, I know where this goes.
I'm not wild about it. But sometimes if I'm just in the mood for, I have about 3 cappuccinos a year, and they're fine. But that's enough.
Whether you need them or not.
But the stars need to be aligned. It's like, I think today will be the day of cappuccino. But I'm not a massive coffee drinker.
Chops Comedy every Tuesday in Bristol. We have an amazing secret headliner and the best local acts. Every Tuesday at Bar 57 in Bedminster. Previous acts include Mike Wozniak, Fern Brady, Nish Kumar, Harriet Kemsley, Rosie Jones, Jade Adams, Sally Ray B, Ed Gamble, Spencer Jones, Chloe Radcliffe, Tom Rosenthal, Scott Bennett, Finn Taylor and Helen Bauer. The first 20 tickets are only £4 and the rest are only £7. It's an absolute bargain. Tickets via Head First. Come to Chops Comedy every Tuesday at Bar 57 in Bedminster. Well, Toby, thank you very much for telling me about your morning. I've also got you here because you are a Doctor Who expert.
Okay.
Now, usually in the previous episodes, I've said expert, and people are like, "I'm not actually that much of an expert." You might be the closest to an expert.
I would never claim so to be, but my hobby has led to a lot of professional work and published works. But I still would never claim to be such a thing. But I suppose if we were on a sinking ship and they said we need a Doctor Who expert to answer a question,
if I had any Doctor Who questions, you would be the first person.
I would probably go, okay, I'll give it a bash.
Yeah. I mean, of all the people I know who are like, how can I turn my passion into some kind of revenue? You are up there in the people I know of like, oh, you've managed to find out a way to kind of work within Doctor Who.
Yeah. Yes, I've been very, very fortunate. I do all the DVD commentaries and make documentaries on the Blu-rays and that sort of thing. Yes.
So for anybody that has no idea what is Doctor Who?
Doctor Who is a long-running, much-loved television science fiction series that started on the 23rd of November 1963, the day after the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
No coincidence there.
And it's about a traveller in time who travels in time through, unlike the sort of spangly, brilliant Starfleet of the American sort of successful sci-fi, the Doctor Who's always had a sort of ramshackle charm. And it actually was conceived to have a Rethian goal, which was you travelled forward in time and learnt about science, you travelled backward in time and learnt about history, and there was jeopardy within. But then the second episode, the second story, they met these things called the Daleks, which were very science fiction-y, and so gradually the historical stories were kind of weeded out. But it's
there is a lot of older episodes that have a lot of historical stuff.
Yeah, because that was the remit of the show. That was the idea behind the show, that children would learn about history when Doctor Who travelled there and went, the Aztecs practiced human sacrifice or whatever. But
as with everything, when people are like, okay, we need to keep viewers interested and make them excited, so the Cybermen are back again.
Yeah, but although they had the purpose behind them, they were envisioned by a scientist who they got on board for the show to say, how can we make our science more plausible and what would be a plausible threat? And he was slightly alarmed at what might happen with the increase of sort of cybernetics and replacing limbs with. He said, well, what happens if we start replacing our minds with machinery? Do we lose emotions? And so there was a sort of scientific driver behind that concept. But
that's the theme of a lot of like modern video games.
Yeah, well,
of like Cybernetics doing it, and Doctor Who was doing it.
Oh, Doctor Who's always been.
Do you know when did the Cybermen first arrive?
1966, October. And the
you just know.
And the guy who conceived,
he's not an expert though.
And the previous story that guy conceived was actually invented the idea of a worldwide network where computers talk to each other. So that was in 1966. So yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Because I know that Star Trek invented automatic doors.
Well, there we go. So
you're saying,
but I mean, you're dealing with. So I mean, I always think that's a curious byproduct of science fiction, that if you're conceiving the future, you're going to come up with. I mean, it's amazing they came up with that, but you still get stories set in the future where they've got pads and paper. They don't have, they're not typing into little computers on their hands. So
that's why I love watching TNG, because Star Trek Next Generation is the only Star Trek I like, because it really does all feel like it's in the future until you look at any panel, and it looks like, that row of houses in Bristol that's just like pink, purple, blue, like it just looks like that, and you're like, they can't do anything on there.
But the beauty of Doctor Who is that it's kind of entered the national consciousness, and most people know what a TARDIS is, even though it was a police box rather than a spaceship. And as I say, it has a sort of ramshackle charm, and it's funny as well. Yeah. And if you're of a certain kind of mind, it has lots of minutiae you can sort of dive into and research. I'm as interested in the making of it as I am in the odds. I'm not bothered about making all the on-screen history tie up. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. But
you're not interested in the lore being.
No, I didn't know.
Fair enough.
I mean, if somebody did something egregious, I'd get annoyed about it.
Sure.
But I'm more fascinated by. Why is that like that? When last week they had a different control panel or whatever in our delve in and go, oh, it's because actually the designers accidentally broke it midweek and had to replace. So I'm more interested in the making of it and all of that.
Because literally the Dalek is like a plunger and a thing, because that's what they had available to them and stuff.
Pretty much. But they
plunger and a whisk, right?
No, it's something specially made to be the gun. But the plunger is there because they wanted to do a claw, but they couldn't. It was too expensive.
That's fair enough. Who's your favourite Doctor? Do you have a favourite Doctor?
It's tricky, but I like the second one, Patrick Troughton, because he's very good at doing what's essential for a Doctor Who, is to be very good at gravitas and in aged wisdom, but also be very, very funny. But Tom Baker, number 4, was also like that, but also is, I think, possibly actually Doctor Who. He's such an extraordinary character. He's great. But
he's very quintessential, isn't he?
Yeah, the only thing that he loses points for was that he did it for too long, and so sort of misbehaved a little bit in the middle and is a little bit indulgent, which kind of slightly takes away from his otherwise unassailable luster.
That's okay. That's fair.
And of the modern Doctors, I like Matt Smith.
Oh, nice.
and Peter Capaldi particularly.
That's good, because
yeah.
obviously there was like a bit of a break in the 90s with like audio only stuff, and
The wilderness years, yes. Yes, they were sad times for me.
that's fair. Do you have a favorite episode?
Well, it's very American to refer to them as episodes because Doctor was largely 4-parters and 6-parters that made up stories.
Sorry,
So
do you have a favorite story?
Thank you very much.
That's fine.
Although the modern
This
ones,
is why I want
they
to
are
get the
singular episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm aware that a lot of people will have judged me on my response to that when I could have just told you the title of a story. And
Well, that's fine.
And I'm
actually aware of that.
and I am judging me now as
Yeah.
well. And so they're right to, but also wrong to, because I'm aware that it was anyway. Let's not
After all
worry
this,
about
if you then just say Blink, I'm going to be like, that's just one episode.
it is. I like a Tom Baker story called It Changes, and the beauty of Doctor Who is, of course, is that there's a story to suit me whatever mood I'm in because it goes through different styles.
Yeah, of course.
But I like the mixtures of BBC costume drama and sort of gothic horror sci-fi, and so there's a story called The Talons of Weng Chiang, which is a Tom Baker story from about 1976, which has a sort of bit of Jack the Ripper. It's got a bit of Fu Manchu about it, and Tom Baker is at the height of his powers. It's great. Yeah.
WUWAH. Just a quick message from me to say I also make music under the name Branching Audio. I make instrumental music, either ambient music or beats. I've just released an album of beats called Cassette Recollection under the name Branching Audio. It's like lo-fi, down-tempo, chill-out sort of music for fans of Bonobo, Nightmares on Wax, Mr. Scruff. It's available on Bandcamp and also all music streaming platforms. Please go give it a listen. I hope you enjoy it. Something to stick on in the background whilst you work. Also, it turns out if you make a playlist for it on Spotify, I get given that information. So what's the funniest name of a playlist you can put one of my songs on? I hope you enjoy Cassette Recollection by Branching Audio out now. So as a Doctor Who expert, I just need to quiz you on Doctor Who.
Oh God.
So you've got a Doctor Who quiz now. So
I'm only good at the old stuff.
that's fine. How many Doctor Who episodes are there?
Oh, well, in the classic run, there was episodes or stories.
Episodes.
I think I might be about 694 in the original series.
Okay. The internet told me 892.
Yeah, that's because of the new series. It depends if you count the new series as well. But I would never claim to be across the new series because I'm too busy knowing the names of extras from episodes of 1964.
Where does it stop for you?
Well, it doesn't stop. I watch the new episodes, but
you just
I haven't
don't indulge in it.
But I don't.
Okay.
I don't delve.
This is a bit like me with I don't really acknowledge Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Yeah.
And so I just sort of stop there. Who is the tallest Doctor?
Is it Tom or is it Capaldi? Is it Tom?
It's Tom. Absolutely correct. That's 1 point for you there. Congratulations. This next question I thought was a clever one, but I imagine you're just going to know it immediately. Because I know nothing about Doctor Who. I was like, this sounds like a question to ask somebody. Who's the 7th Doctor's companion?
Oh, well, he had two. He when he began, he was with Melanie Bush, played by Bonnie Langford, and then he's joined by Ace, played by Sophie Aldred.
I have Ace written by Saul. You're so good at Doctor Who. That's really, really good. Well done. And if you like Doctor Who at home, I'm sure you like these questions. You might not like the rest of them. I'm bigger on the inside than I am on the outside. What am I?
You're the TARDIS, Doctor Who's time-travelling police box machine.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Virgin Mega Stores, Oxford Street.
Very good.
And your final question is, can Daleks climb a Stairmaster?
Can they climb a Stairmaster?
Yeah.
Well, they can. I mean, they can hover. So, I mean, there was always that joke about the Daleks couldn't climb the stairs.
Yeah.
But you've added you've added something to the mix there. But a Stairmaster, isn't that one of those? We had one for a bit. We've got a lift now in our house, but we had a Stairmaster. Isn't that the thing that you sit on if you're...
like a stand-up stair lift. I think a Stairmaster is in the gym where you kind of...
Oh, is that one? Yeah, well, they just hover over it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I've got here, no, they prefer the rowing machine, but that's fine. This is always the point where I'm like sat at home giggling to myself, and then I say it to somebody who's an actual enthusiast of a topic, and they go, yeah,
okay.
Right. I might need to rethink this bit of the podcast. But that's fine. Thank you so much for doing this. I have a few more questions, which is where can we find you online?
Oh God, everywhere. Apart from
Everywhere.
I don't yet have an OnlyFans, and I don't, nor do I have a TikTok. But I'm on Twitter and I'm on Blue Sky because obviously I'm a man of loose morals.
That's good.
And easily appeasing. And I have an Instagram at Toby Hadoke. So at Toby, because my name is TOBYHADOKE. There aren't any other me's, so I'm quite easy to find.
Oh, that's good.
In all of the places. Yes,
That's very, very good. Do you have anything you want to plug?
well,
Come to XS Malarkey on
come to
Tuesdays.
XS Malarkey Comedy Club every Tuesday. We have been running for 27 years next month, which is no mean feat.
It's in Manchester and it's wonderful. And as somebody who's run a comedy club for 5 years, that is an absolute miracle.
And we run on a not-for-profit basis, but reserve the right, therefore, to not let in big parties and hen do's and stag do's and all of that. I also do a series of Doctor Who podcasts called Toby Hadoke's Time Travels. And I had if you know somebody very old, I had a book out this year that took me 36 years to write, and it's about the very first piece of original British television science fiction called The Quatermass Experiment, which is a milestone in not only science fiction but also television. And that book came out earlier this year, and I'm very, very proud of it.
Was that the show that everybody talked about, but now some of the episodes have been lost?
Well, in fact, I'll be very bored. They recorded, it went out live.
Yes.
They recorded the first two basically off a flat monitor screen. And during the second episode, a fly landed on the monitor screen. So it didn't fulfill technical standards. So the rest of the episodes went out live, but they didn't record them. But then there was Quatermass 2, which was a sequel, which they did go out live, but they also recorded, and then the really famous one, Quatermass and the Pit. So, but they did make a film of all three of them as well. So we have versions of the Quatermass Experiment.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
cool.
yeah, the original one, the episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 were never recorded.
Mad.
Which is a great hole in my life.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
But don't worry, there's a book where you can hear all about Toby's woes.
There's a book where I conjure as much as can possibly be conjured about what you cannot see.
My final question to you is give me a song title and I will write a song, post this and I'll edit it in at the end based on whatever title you give me.
Why can't I just get on with it?
That's the song title that I should do.
That should trip off the tongue.
My girlfriend will be thrilled that I have to write a song about that. Toby Hadoke, thank you for waking up with a whore.
Oh, well, thank you very much for the tea and biscuits.
Why can't I just get on with it? Why can't I just get on with it? I just want to just get on with it. So why can't I just get on with it? Doing anything makes me think about doing everything, and that becomes immediately overwhelming. I just want to watch the telly and eat biscuits, cause that's less overwhelming, and I get biscuits. I will eventually get on with it as soon as I have finished all the biscuits.
Thank you to the amazing Toby Hadoke. What an amazing person. Please go find him at toby.hadoke on social media, tobyhadoke.com. Please go to XS Malarkey in Manchester. If you live in Manchester, it is the best kept secret. When I did it with James Acaster and Matthew Wheatley and Alex Mason, and it was just a stonkingly good lineup, and the audience are always amazing. And it's just one of my favorite gigs to do. So please go and do that. I also really like the fact that I was supposed to put this out yesterday, but I've put it out today because I ADHD'd too close to the sun and then had a lot of traveling to do. And Toby's song suggestion was, why don't you just get on with it? I needed that. So thank you. The way this works is I usually put out an episode on Monday with a guest, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I put out mini morning encouragements. Although this week you might have noticed that it came out on Tuesday, the guest episode, because I ADHD'd too close to the sun. Yeah. Today, I hope you are good to yourself. I hope you're good to other people. Please eat 3 meals. Please get some movement in. Maybe send a nice text message to someone that you love, and just look after yourself. My name is David Hoare, and thank you for waking up with a whore.
Try and have an adequate day. Meet your basic needs and don't be a dick.